Hi guys, welcome to the next episode of our podcast. Today I'm with Brendan Pettigrew, who has got an amazing story to share with you. So he's gone from a photocopier boy in a corporate estate agent. He's then joined an independent estate agent and worked his way up the career ladder to become the managing director of that business. He's been on a fantastic salary on 100 grand a year, and he's given that all up to get back to what he knows and loves and becoming a self-employed estate agent running his own business. I was blown away when I found out how much he will be earning this month. So stay tuned and welcome to Brendan.
Thanks for inviting me.
So today I want to talk about your journey and your career in estate agency and how you started and where you are today. It's quite a fascinating and interesting story. And
it's a long story.
Yeah, it'd be great to share it with everyone. So if you could just start with, tell us, when did you start and why did you become an estate agent? What was the appeal to it?
It's 26 years now. I know I don't look it, but I started when I was 19. So as the photocopy boy back in Connells, actually, over in Coventry. Yeah. So 26 years on, still doing the same sort of...
photocopying.
Well, no, yeah, I've actually gone on from photocopying, but still doing what I love doing all the way back then.
So tell me, what was the job role that you did then, and how did it first go?
I call it photocopy boy, but it was called a trainee neg. So basically, you'd shadow all of what you'd think were big cheeses back then, the actual estate agents who used to, drive around in their Corsas, and they've made it. Yeah. So you used to shadow them, and then you'd be sort of gradually allowed to pick up the phone and, book some viewings. And, that's where it all started. Yeah, 19 years old. So, however, I've seen other, agents come in at 19, even 18 and think, I feel as if I was too young back then, but then I see some of these incredible 18 and 19-year-olds coming through who are way above where, I was back then. So it's...
You started as a negotiator. When did they start letting you out to do valuations, or when did you become a valuer, and what was that like?
It was, so you had trainee negotiator, then negotiator, where you go out and do the viewings, attend, viewings at properties with buyers. Then valuer, that would be probably 2 or 3 years if you've been good at agreeing the sales.
And can you remember back then, how did you feel about the job and the role, and what were your dreams for the future?
Everyone's dream is to be the head of a company or, sort of run a business. How was I? For the first 3 months, I didn't sell a house. I came in from a totally different industry. Yeah. Then, I had a eureka moment. I remember sitting in my car and listening to this guy called Anthony Robbins, and it changed my outlook on life, and things started just to fall in place. I'd drive into work and probably look in the mirror. I recall looking in the mirror and asking if people would buy a house off me that day and go in with the right sort of mindset. So it's just, it was a long time ago, but I look back and smile now. Yeah,
mindset is key. And excuse me, I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, and we've been to one of his events. Yeah. And so it's good to have that it's had a positive impact on your life in many ways. So you then became valuer, and how long were you in that current role, that role for, and when did you move from there?
When you say move from there, I'd go out and value houses, and then the manager in the branch at Coventry would then be promoted, and then pretty much you'd all get promoted up. So then I was the residential manager, so I'd be able to tell the staff what to do and, organise the diary, exciting stuff like that. And
how did you find that?
Good, yeah. I still liked it because it was very involved still with going out and putting houses on the market and meeting new people and clients and, giving keys away and all the pleasure that the job gives, really.
Yeah. And then what happened next?
Then you'd run the branch,
Yeah.
which then everything's your responsibility. You've got then the area director calling you weekly or daily for figures.
Yeah.
So then it was a bit more high pressured, something that you totally accept. So yeah, it was pretty good. They took me to Venice and Rome, and so we were always in the top 10 in the Connells company. And they used to treat their managers to yearly excursions. And then I moved over to Leamington and ran that branch.
And so when did we meet?
Well, we met. It must be 20 years ago, but I think I've been with you for, it must be 17.
Wow.
17 years now. I think I was at Connells for about 10-ish years. And then with you for the rest, you probably, a big proportion of my life has been spent with you, actually. It's a bit unsettling.
Yeah, and so can you remember where you start? You joined Newman's. How was that to start with, and where did it progress to?
Yeah, I thought it was a sideways, to many people it would seem like a sideways step, but I was manager, they called it board of management partner at Leamington, but basically the manager at Connells. Then I moved over to being the manager 4 doors down at Newman's. So you'd think it's a sideways step, but with I think there was about 60 odd staff in the Newman's building as opposed to say 4 with Connells. So it was a much bigger operation to take care of. And I used to always watch the staff at Newman's, whether this is right to say or not.
When you were at Connells?
When I was at Connells, you used to always know the people who would work at Newman's, because they'd always have a bit of a swagger whilst they were walking past the front. And whether that was because of the training that was put in place, and they were absolutely on point with what they should be doing, and it projects their body language. I didn't know what it was, but I wanted to be part of it.
Yeah. And so what was your journey like with Newman's, and when did you end up?
Well, the journey with Newman's, we've experienced everything, I think, since I joined Newman's. We'd experienced the brilliant things like going to the National Association of Realtors over in America, credit crunches, pandemics, a massive shift in, our company structure, going from employed estate agents to self-employed estate agents, opening up so many different branches. It was all about the branch and the expansion back then. And it's been a good but challenging roller coaster. But I suppose I never look back and regret even the worst things that have happened in my life or anything, because then it brings you out where you are now, and it's a pretty happy place.
So obviously from my point of view, you just were great from the day you started, and you've literally progressed and been an important and integral part of our business and grown with the business, and eventually got to the top spot. You were running the business as the managing director, and basically fulfilled your hopes and dreams of getting that, running a business. And what was that like when you reached that point in your career?
Well, it was always the aspiration to run the business, and it does help when you believe in something that you're part of you believe in what the business is trying to achieve as well. So it's where I wanted to always stay, and always will stay. Then you need to earn your badge to create a bit of influence in companies, and that comes with how you are, your leadership, and figures. Obviously you can't be a failure and get promoted. So for me it was the pinnacle of my career, looking back, my old career, when I was announced as managing director, and then the responsibility of all the staff in the company fell on me, and it was a very proud moment.
Yeah, brilliant. And you did a great job. But when you get that position and you've reached that goal, and you've been in that position for some time, is it as good as you expected, or was it more?
Well, it was. So when, if you remember, my first role as managing director was to set up the hub and change the way that we were, functioning as a business, and having a big central training station, recruitment station, a home for the agents to call home, and the sales hub, the sales progression, the design and the print and the shop and accounts. And so it's a massive, thing to invent, really, because nothing of its kind in the Midlands compared to it.
Yeah.
Of course, there's hubs and everything in other parts of the country, but this was ours, and this was the first time that we had no one to learn from. So it was a massive challenge. As time went on, my time was totally involved in things that I didn't fall in love with the industry for, and that was hopefully what I've been, whether it's trained or nurtured, it's the talent that I'd kind of enjoyed, putting people on the market, helping them move, the whole sort of the whole estate agency part of the business was removed as managing director for me, and that's something that I missed.
And so at some point, and just to fast forward the story a little bit further, at some point you decided that you want to be running your own business and be your own boss and be a self-employed estate agent, getting out and listing and selling houses. So what was the trigger, or at what point did you say, do you know what, I've had enough? You've achieved your goal of being, the top, the pinnacle of your career, as you mentioned it, and maybe it wasn't as rewarding as you had thought it was going to be, but there must have been something you thought, do you know what, there's more to this.
Yeah.
What was at what point, and what was the trigger, and
it was
why?
It was a slow burner to start with, where I would start to incorporate my day as managing director and still do the odd one or two appointments. Then I found, wow, I really love doing this again.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to involve being an estate agent, and even if it didn't fulfill the ego of being managing director, which now I'm a bit too old to have such an ego, because I've got a little daughter and a wife as well who's quite demanding. So being happy and being the provider and giving them the lifestyle that they want is, trumps everything.
Yeah. And so you made that transition. And what?
I started to fall in love with it again, with estate agency. Then we became in a position where we could open our own estate agency if we wanted to, financially, which, was the ambition of 26 years ago. But then I thought, what's the point? What's the point in, when I've got everything, being a partner with you, and having that camaraderie? What's the point in hiring a business, starting to create a brand from scratch, something that nobody knows in the areas that I function in, that I know that I've got a community around me, that I've got friends, and everyone, lots of people recognize me. Why would I, rent a branch, pay air conditioning maintenance, get a staff in, lose sleep again, when I have the business right under my nose? And that's when we agreed to, start Brendan Pettigrew and Partners with you.
And so you made that decision, and obviously there must have been some, I guess, fears or concerns about that stepping? I mean, or were you just, no, this is the right time, I'm just going to do it? What were your feelings at the time? Were there any doubts?
When the only doubt that I, could have ever, no, I didn't have any doubts, because I knew that I was a good estate agent, and I knew how to source market appraisals, and the rest just falls into place.
Yeah. And so tell us about where you are now. So that was probably just over a year ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, most of that year has been in a pandemic and in lockdown. So it's interesting times. So just tell me how it is. What's life like now? What's your roles and responsibilities and what is it like? Tell me.
Well, my life now is just I can pick my daughter up from school.
Yeah.
And if any dad or mom, if just even saying that, there's a lot of gravity behind that, really. Yeah. So, I've got such a great, home, and I don't want to say it because it just makes me whenever I hear it, but it really, you can spend more time with your family. That's, I won't call it the balance or anything like that, but I've got business which comes to me because of the actions that I do, so I never have to worry about the next house that comes on the market. I've usually got some houses on the waiting list to come on the market with me.
Yeah.
I only deal with the people I get on most with.
Yeah.
I end up when I complete their sale as an estate agent, but continue as a friend in their life as well. So I'm living the dream job, really, and the rewards are obviously really good as well. So
I guess there's a lot of people out there, maybe in the estate agency world now, that have got their career planned out. They want to work their way up the ladder and become the manager and the area manager and director and even managing director. And when you look at that role now with hindsight and what you were doing, and I guess you were managing people, you had meetings, you were responsible for profits and loss and marketing and everything, really. Looking back and comparing it with where you are now, because most people think, no, I definitely want to be that role. And I guess, what sort of income was that role paying?
Well, the negotiators would be
your role as running the business.
As running the business,
before you went self-employed.
Probably 8,000, 9,000.
So maybe 100 grand a year. Yeah. So that's good, isn't it? That's like the top. And then you've left that to go on your own and be a self-employed estate agent. Now you don't have to worry about anyone else except for yourself and your clients and your family.
Yeah.
You're in control of your own destiny and diary.
Yeah.
You're looking fit. I've just seen your gym, and how is that sort of all working?
It's life changing. So I promised to make the house lockdown, proof for anything that happens in the future. So we've done a lot of work to the house, and obviously I've had to be on hand hands on to help with that and run the business. But you find a good way of doing it. But the lifestyle is absolutely fantastic. And
there's probably a lot of people that are thinking about making the transition to being self-employed, but they've got some concerns, the usual fear of what if it doesn't work? Am I good enough? Self-belief. What would you say to someone who is currently an employed estate agent that's thinking about this model? Have you got any advice on?
They're given so much of our training when they first start as well. So if they've picked up any bad habits from other estate agents, then don't worry. You get the as much support from the Newman community as they would, as you can shake a stick at, really. So if you're a good estate agent, if you're selling 3 houses a month, 4, 5, 6 houses, that's when you get into the real money. There isn't anything that should change if you made the transition to say being powered by Newmans or in partnership with Newmans. It should only really, reward you more for the same sorts of figures. With any wealthy people, there's a certain element of risk that everybody's taken along the way somewhere, or else everybody would be, spanking around in Porsches. Yeah. So look, if you're confident in yourself as being a good estate agent who's still prepared to and does still embrace learning a lot, there's no reason. I can see all around me. All the new guys are doing so well.
Yeah, and the great thing is, and this isn't necessarily to promote Newmans. I'm talking about the self-employed model wherever people are, whichever model they go with. But
do it.
In our model, that you literally spend a day with, we have an induction week, and you literally spend a day with the new people talking about exactly what you do every step of the way. So, I mean, I know they find that invaluable, and it's a great platform to move into being successful.
First of all, I thought, wow, do I want to give everybody my secrets? But then, I could basically do a YouTube video of everything that I do in my business at Brendan Pettigrew and Partners, deliver it to the phones of all the estate agents in and around me. And I don't mind sharing those secrets because most people won't do them anyway.
That's exactly true. It's exactly true. And then I just want to talk about the financial rewards, and everyone is interested in, well, how much can I earn? And you were on a good salary before as a managing director, and there's probably people out there that are very comfortable in their current roles on a good salary. But what you can earn on this model is really, there's no limit. And I'd actually planned to give you something today. And in fact, I will give it to you because it's still worth mentioning that, we have a 10K club and a 20K club, and some people are in the 30K club. And you're in a 40K club. So means that this is for people who've earned over £40,000 in a month. So this is what I was going to give you, and I'm still going to give you this because you can put this on your wall. And this is a phenomenal amount of money for a monthly income. So you take that. Yeah. But it was interesting before we start.
Who would hang that on their wall at home, by the way?
I don't know. People do. But this is interesting. We had a conversation before this podcast, and I said to you, how are things going this month, and what are you expecting to bank in fee income? So I mean, tell us, what is your fee income that you're going to be banking this month?
This period will be 144,000 in fees,
and you get 70% of that. So what's that to you in personal income that you're going to take home?
It's 104,000.
So just say that again, because I don't think people will either hear you or believe you, but
It's 104,000.
Yeah. So we've hastily, now Brendan Pettigrew is a member of our 100K club. And so that's awarded obviously to people who have a monthly earnings. So you've gone literally from earning 100 grand a year to now this month earning £100,000. That's incredible and phenomenal. Most people can't even comprehend that. But we're not in London with expensive house prices. We're not in LA. You're in the Midlands, relatively average priced houses. So what would be interesting is in our next chat to discuss some of the things that you do to get those results, because it's absolutely incredible. So
pleasure.
Thank you very much for your time today. Is there anything else you want to add about your journey? Have you got any reflection from like when you've started to your whole journey to where you are now? Could you summarize that for us?
Do I have any regret? Do I wish that I'd have changed anything along the way? Probably. I could always say that I wished I'd have did this sooner, but that's just rubbish. I'm so happy with the leap. And many people would think it would be a leap backwards from running a big company to, being your own business. But I really do feel that it is my ambition to own my own business, and it is Brendan Pettigrew and Partners, and it's doing really well, and I'm really proud.
Yeah, well, you definitely should be proud. I know your clients are very happy. Your wife and daughter are very happy. You've created a great lifestyle for them and for yourselves. And it's a pleasure for me to see. Like, I get a lot of reward and satisfaction from seeing people do well, for being part of that in some way, to see them achieving their goals and earning a great income and being successful. And you're a great example of that. And hopefully this will inspire other people and other estate agents that are sort of on the fence thinking maybe I should go self-employed, So, and if anyone wants to follow you, they can find you, Brendan Pettigrew, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, follow what you're doing. And then, we will have another chat about what you do and how you've done it. So hopefully that will give people some tips that you can share. So I just want to finish by saying thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's been fantastic. Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like more information about becoming a self-employed estate agent, I will add a link in the description. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.